Hi there. I'm Jiggly. It's the second channel, so I can say that, right? That's allowed. Is that allowed? I after 2 weeks of waiting to finally talk about soccer, I can, because dear God, that was not a soccer game last week. So yeah, there was a game with the Fire, as we all know. The Fire took their first L of the season. As Ezra Hendrickson put it after the game, they weren't going to go undefeated for 34 games. And that just wasn't going to happen. The issue, though, is that the way it happened, honestly, okay, I'm going to get into it now. So there's some pregame stuff that I should probably mention. I'm going to turn on the telestrator stuff now so you can see there's the lineup here. Now for me to open up my notes here. So the pregame stuff is, Shaqiri, Shihos, Herbers, and Miguel Navarro were all out injured. Shihos is not actually injured. He's still on COVID protocol. I don't know if they don't really reveal whether or not they have COVID or not, but he's on protocol, so not able to play. Honestly, I still like these two as center backs. I still prefer Pineda as a center back than as a midfielder. And Omsberg, he's Omsberg. He does his job. I like him. He's a good lad. My question at the beginning, when the lineup first came out, was, is Jonathan Bornstein a 37-year-old man? Let me just check this here for a second. Actually, no, I can actually go over here and check this. Let's just check. What is Bornstein's? Yep, 37 years old. Is he going to start at left wing? He did. That's certainly a choice. That's a choice to make, and I think I said this lineup has bad vibes. This lineup has bad vibes. I didn't know where the bad vibes were coming from. I think I kind of knew where the bad vibes were coming from. The fact that they decided that their best option at left wing was Jonathan Bornstein, 37-year-old man. I mean, there were certainly other when we got the lineup. I think that there were other versions of this lineup that could have happened. There was the version of this lineup that had a 5-man back line. Sekulic was becomes a part of the back line. Espinoza up over on the right wing, then Bornstein on the left wing. But then that's be a 5-2-3. Somebody was saying a possibility of a 5-3-2. None of that happened. Instead, it was a 4-2-3-1 with Jonathan Bornstein at left wing. I should really check. How did he do? Let's just see what he did, 73% pass success. Ouch. 15 total passes. Yeah, that's not a good sign for anybody. That's not a good thing for anybody. Oh God, and I just saw the number of total passes for Orlando. We're gonna put that away for right now. Move this back over to ratings. So this game, you walk into this game with everything going on. Oh yeah, we got Guy over here. You walk into this game with everything going on. I don't think anybody expects to walk out of this game with a win. No Fire fan should go into this game thinking that the Fire are going to win this game. But we can get a scoreless draw out of this. Absolutely. I don't think Orlando, in general, I wouldn't think Orlando's that good. I mean, we were able to keep them scoreless earlier in the season. And also, just, I've seen how they've played against other teams. And you know what? The Fire can handle that. And to be honest, they did. They handled it fairly well for a long period of time. I want you to look at over here. This is interesting. Up until the second yellow card for Gutierrez, we'll get into that in a bit. But up until that point, the Fire were actually starting to take over the game a bit. And then this whole thing happened over here. That whole thing happened. And, Orlando took over. I don't know what else I can say for this portion of what I'm doing right now. So let's move over to the actual telestrator and set it up. I'm going to delete that. I don't need that up there right yet. So let's just set it up. Let's just see what happens. So, first half, I don't know if they're going to actually show it, but the most pivotal thing in the first half comes in the 5th minute. Yep, here it is. The most pivotal thing in the first half is this moment. Right here. What just happened here is the most pivotal thing in the entire first half. That yellow card, such an inconsequential yellow card in terms of just like in the moment, and it was so weird that I immediately was just like, oh no, that's foreshadowing. Something is gonna happen here and it's not gonna be good. And well, I mean, I was right, wasn't I? something was gonna happen that night, in the words of what was that, Mads Mikkelsen, whatever, and on the Gorillaz album. I don't know. Gorillaz is a good band. Why am I talking about Gorillaz? Look, that specific moment is so stupid. And this causes the entire game to happen right here. Because that second yellow card, there's a lot of people that are going to talk about that second yellow card. I do not think that was not that was a clear yellow card. Honestly, could have been a red. If he wanted to do it to him, it could have been a red, straight red. Instead, it was a second yellow. So yeah, I'm gonna move on. I believe. Oh, this is a good play. And so you're gonna see this. This is not a good play. So there's gonna be also gonna be people talking about this sort of thing, which is people are gonna talk about Gaga's save here. This play is not about Gaga's save. I want you to look at something here. I'm gonna hopefully have the pen out now. There we go. Oh, is that color picker? What the? Let's go. I've got to do the right things here. So people are going to talk about this play over here. And they're going to say, Gaga makes a great save. He makes an okay save. He makes the save that he needs to do. But that is rebounded. The big play here, it comes from the other homegrown player right here. Pineda, seeing that this guy is right here, he's going to hit it off of him. It's going to go out, and it's going to be a corner kick. I mean, goal kick, whatever. That could easily turn into a corner kick, and he turns it into a goal kick. That is a good play from Pineda. There was another play that just happened right before this where, yeah, another chance for the same Orlando striker, but Pineda again just bounces it off of the guy for a goal kick. I seriously think that Pineda was man of the match in this game. I think that he did a great job. And then this one is what, yeah, Pato blazes a shot to the left side. Honestly, I mean, is there anything tactically interesting? I mean, the thing about Espinoza right here is that Espinoza is not used to being a left back. He's a right back, and they're playing him at left back. He cuts in a bit too far here. Yeah, that's a lot of space between him and Pato. But it works. You know, he didn't get a chance to do anything there. Let's see, anything I miss here? Nope, okay. We're going to have this one, which I believe is a chance for Goody. Just inside the box. No one's covering him, too. Like, this is just wide open space. No one's near him. And you know what? That could have been a goal. It seriously could have been a goal. This is a solid save from Galese. Gets down, gets his hands to it. I mean, you could argue that, like, oh, you know, let's just move that here. Goody could try to, you know, get a shot to, like, this spot right here. I'm using my mouse to draw now. I have this whole tablet set up and I'm not using my mouse. But, like, Goody could take this shot and go, like, here. See, this is what happens when I use my tablet. It doesn't work out that well. Gosh, dang darn. he could send this ball to the corner. He could, and he doesn't. He sends it towards the center because that's where his momentum is. That's a normal thing. And you know what? I'm fine with that. He doesn't need to hit a banger. But, you know, that was a good, solid chance. They left him wide open. He did what he needed to do. You know, it's a rookie player, and honestly, during his attacking moments, Gutierrez looked pretty good in his attacking moments, but that rookie mistake in the 5th minute, dear God, what foreshadowing. But let's see, 17th minute, even though I've had a lot of space, couldn't control the pass, I kind of figured that wouldn't be on there. This isn't, okay. It's showing a highlight that I did not have in my highlights, probably because I didn't really think it was even a chance here. Yeah, just a quick shot, saved, whatever. So in between that, there was a random play back over in Orlando's end where Goody was just sort of like thrown off his feet, way away from the ball. No call. The referee looked right at him as he was getting thrown to the ground. There was no call. I'm going to talk about the referee at the end of the game, but if you want to blame the referee for this game, I think you should be looking at some other things that happened in this game. The referee could have changed things for like a second, or like, you know, not a second, but like the referee can have a massive effect on the game. But the pivotal moments that changed the game for the Fire was not something that the referee did. The Fire could have, you know, you go into this game with the hopes for a 0-0 draw, and they could have ended with a 0-0 draw, even if the referee was still exactly the same way, as long as one other thing happened. And I'll show you where it happens when it happens. That's going to be second half, though. And this is... Oh yeah, Pato shot goes high. Whatever. That didn't mean much. Let's see. Oh yes, this is a good one. So, ball goes into the box. This is a pretty good play. Because you can see that's Goody. He recognizes where he is, where this guy is. That's Shabishko. He gets the ball to him. He knows that he cannot turn and shoot in this situation. He does not have the balance for it. And he's also got another guy running right up at him. So, you're basically taking... There is a world out there in which Goody takes this shot and he tries for, you know, far post. Instead, he sees this guy, and honestly, this guy can, like, cut in to block the shot. Instead, he lays it off so that Shabishko can try to shoot. And you know what? That got pretty close. I think that he did a great job. I think I drew a dick. Anyway, that was a pretty damn good shot. I liked it. I think that he did a great job. That wasn't Goody. That was Ivanov. Good job, Ivanov. Sends it over, but you know what? We're not gonna fret about that at the moment. But hey, that's two. Honestly, those two chances were better than the chances that Orlando got, I think, or at least one of the like whatever 5 chances that Orlando apparently got. I think that there was only one that was really significant, and that was that first one with Pineda clearing it away, that Gaga save. And the Fire have had 2 very solid chances that are just, you know, just need to tighten up the shooting. Honestly, the shooting in this game in general was terrible. They just need to tighten up the shooting a little bit, and it'll be better. 25th minute, Espinoza and Casper/Bornstein couldn't tell who it was. Failed to communicate on an overlap play. Once again, Espinoza not comfortable with that left back area. 29th minute, bad turnover and own end leads to some desperate defense, but it's handled pretty well. And now we're going to get a low shot from Ruan. Saved. Pretty easy. Like, it's not fancy. Okay, we're not there yet. Oh, here's another chance for the fire. That's not actually a chance. Like, technically. But, I mean, you look at... I mean, just look at this. I mean, Goody gets taken down right in front of the ref. And don't even notice. Like, that... I mean, is it... I guess that is technically not a foul. But it's a bit annoying that it's not a foul. Then move on. Okay, I said 35th minute. It's 36th minute? Did they just skip? Okay, yeah, they definitely skipped it. So there was a VAR call here where that could have been it could have been a penalty for two different reasons. So Fede knocked over Ruan inside the box, and it could have also been a handball because Fede kind of shouldered it away. Like, in live, it looked like it could have been like off of his bicep. He lifted his arm up, and that call went to VAR, and VAR stood by that it was a shoulder. So, you know what? That's a good thing. We're getting calls for once, and that was a, you know what? That was a screwball. I mean, look at this. Look at the downward force of this thing. That is a 12-6 change. Off-speed pitch here. Let's see what else. Bouncing volley goes well over Gaga. Out. 43rd minute. Oh, yes. So I went to the bathroom. At this time, I was in my room. I had my beer. I was like, okay, it's getting close to halftime, but I need to go to the bathroom. Went to the bathroom. I came back and I just see this. I just see this. And he gets his second yellow and sent off. You don't do this. I don't care if it's like, oh, it was his first foul of the match too. I don't care. I don't care if you think he needs a warning. Look at he is on top of the man. He is like glued to him. That is a foul. The ball is all the way on the other side of this man's body. You cannot do this. He did not get the man. Well, no, he definitely got the man. He did not get the ball. He could not challenge for the ball. That's a clear yellow card. I don't know what you can say about that first yellow card. I mean, there's in the rules, you cannot obstruct a free kick. You know, it's an automatic yellow. I mean, a lot of referees still don't call it, but they're doing it more and more often these days. So, you know, just as a deterrent. I don't know what you can say about this that's going to tell you that that's not a second yellow card, if not a straight red. That is a foul. I don't care. Look at I know that's the people who are watching this video are Fire fans. And you cannot tell me, no matter how much you love Goody, you cannot tell me that this man is trying to fall down on top of this other man. It's a foul. Straight up. You cannot say anything else. He's nowhere close to the ball. Look at this. That's the closest this is the closest he gets to the ball. That's not going to happen. Anyway, almost immediately Pato is gonna pop it over. Why do they always have like the weakest shots in some of these? It's like, yeah, we found some highlights. Weak shot dribbled over. Meanwhile, can't even show what a VAR call is. Now he's a chip pass from Pato. Finds a guy, goes over the bar, and that's gonna be most of the second half. Going into halftime, Ezra, they had a camera right onto Ezra, like right after the whistle was blown for halftime, and he looked like he was ready to fight a man. There's gonna be a lot of discourse about that foul, and some of it is valid, but it was clearly a yellow. It was also Goody's first foul, and you know what? There is some discourse to be had about the referee in general, because to that point, Orlando only was called on a foul once the entire first half. I don't know about the rest of the game. I think I'm going to check that out when we get over to it. But Orlando was only called on a single foul for the first half. Goody is getting thrown around in Orlando's third. I do not believe that for 1 second, that there was only one foul from Orlando. At halftime, I think that's, you go back out there and you just keep trying to play the same game. Obviously, you've lost an attacking midfielder, player who's in a creative spot, but honestly, I don't know if Goody was really adding much to the creativity in the attack, because the creativity in the attack was already gone with Shaq. With Shaqiri out, I don't think that there was much creativity in the attack. Anyway, so whatever. I think that their big plan probably would have. I talked to my dad at halftime, and he even said that probably their plan at halftime was to take out Gutierrez. He already was on a yellow card, then he got a second yellow card. But definitely their plan had to have been take off Gutierrez at halftime, put on somebody else. They ended up putting on Casas. I don't agree with that. I think that Bazira should be getting more playing time. But that's a different thing. I need to take a quick break for something real quick. All right, so the thing is that I had to go and I had to eat dinner because I waited too long to make this video. So let's get back into the telestrator for the second half. Because, yeah, I guess let me just go back over. You already heard it, but I need to remind myself about, like, halftime. I think that at that point, well, not even at that point, like, at the beginning of the game, I think somebody said, like, scoreless draw would be the best option for the Fire right now, because they had lost Shaqiri. Shaqiri is the, like, engine room of the entire attack, and there's no one else. This team needs a whole lot more in that attack, and they also lost Herbers, who is, well, yeah, Herbers, Navarro, and Shaqiri are massive parts of the attack. I don't like the fact that, Herbers is a massive part of the attack, but he kind of is. So it's very obvious to say that, like, the best you can hope for is a scoreless draw. And it looked like they were going to do it. It really did look like they were going to do it. So let's just, let's move along here and let's just see what happens now. Because, we start the second half. It's just going to keep... Okay, cool. That is exactly what I expected. It just jumps. 54th minute. There was a 51st minute where there was a chance too, but wasn't anything. Espinoza comes in real late with this tackle. Foomp. Now that should have been a yellow. That is absolutely a yellow. Once again, at the very least, these yellow cards... These last two yellow cards have been spot on. What is this one? Oh, I don't even have this one. What is it? Yeah, that's nothing. That goes wide. Whatever. Here's... Okay, this is just before. Here it is. Okay, so we're gonna have a free kick from here. Let's look at who's got a mark who. Now, actually, let's even count how many of each color are in this box. So I'm gonna make the pen size a bit smaller so that I can do this better. So we have 1, I think that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 fire, and then use this for them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's not an odd man advantage here. The Fire are playing like a normal team right now. And I fucked up because I didn't do another layer, so now I have to make sure that all of this is gone. Oh boy, I went all the way back to the 23rd minute. Great. Okay. Let's make sure that we are all ready for this. So there is no odd man advantage. It is 7-on-6. The Fire have The Fire are the ones who actually have the advantage here. So, here comes the ball. First of all, nobody's marking Pato. That's not a good thing. That is definitely not a good thing. He sends it in. Now let's take a look at our good old friend here, Gaston. In fact, let's take a step back, actually. So, Gaston is marking this guy right here. That's the guy who's supposed to mark. He's got a hand on him, and he comes forward. There's two guys here. And he just loses track of everyone. In fact, this is not a good angle on what I was trying to show. Let me just move a bit forward. Get rid of this. Move a bit forward, because I know that there's a better angle on this. So here's Gaston. Gaston is right here. Gaston is right here. I always knew that that wasn't going to work. He walks away from this guy. And he's supposed to pick up this guy who's walked behind him. And he is moving forward instead of tracking back at the guy who just walked past him. I don't understand what's going on with this man anymore. Because finally, he's kind of doing something for once. He pushes past to get to a ball that is well above him, by the way. Nowhere close to him. He's moving forward. When he should be marking that guy. This is, okay, you know what? You can say this is either Gaston or Espinoza. Looking at this again, you could put some blame on Espinoza here. But man, this is just like, no one's picking him up. No, wait, that's not, okay, yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. I lost track of where Gaston was. Never mind. Here's Gaston. I need to make sure that I'm angry at the right things. And I just knew that I just remembered it was Gaston. Because it's always Gaston's fault. You gotta pay attention to where Gaston is. And he's walking. There we go. That's how you tell, because that's why I was a bit confused that this guy was Gaston, because Gaston would not actually make that run. That's why I was starting to get a bit concerned. Now you see where he is. Oh boy, look at that man. Now that I see where it is, I gotta make a bigger circle to show, but like, there he is. He stands there, walks around. If he's faster, he picks up the guy. Like, why do we still have this man on payroll? I ruined my point because I ruined my point because I started berating Pineda. When I wasn't trying to berate Pineda. I just remembered that I got angry at Gaston. And now I can see again where it is, because he just stands there. He just fucking ball watches. He turns around. If he keeps up with his man, he's going to be there. I mean, that's just stupid. Why does this guy exist? It's... The only thing that he can do is wear a turtleneck. That's the only thing I can see him doing. Like, we give him DP money. He's been given the captain's armband already in previous games. He wasn't captain in this game. I don't think he was captain in this game. But Bornstein was captain, and I think he may have handed off the armband to Gaston. And I know last game, Shaqiri was injured, and he handed the armband to Gaston. Why does everyone keep... Why are they trying to tell us that Gaston is a good player? I mean, look at this. Look at this. What is he doing? Everyone is moving except for him. Even the wall moves more than him. Even the wall moves more than him. Even those defenders back there move more than him. Eesh. It's... the fact that the Fire are trying to make it sound like this guy is actually, oh yeah, he's the best player on the team. He's got all these great metrics. And finally, this game, he does not have good metrics in this game. He finally does not have good metrics. So it's just... if you want to complain about officiating, go right ahead. But don't say that this game was won and lost with Goody's red card. That's not where that specific spot here, this hole right here was not created by Goody. This hole was created by Gaston. That was created by Gaston. Yeah, now I understand the reason why, because Pineda pushes him back because he knows that he's got a guy back here who can mark him. And he stops before he gets even close to the ball, too. And then he looks at Pineda because at Pineda. How can you give this man a captain's armband? How can you let him on the pitch? How can you pay him this much money if he's not going to do anything? For a defensive midfielder, he has nothing going for him defensively. And he's a defensive midfielder. You need to, if you want him to play as a good defensive player, he's not playing as a good defensive player. Personally, I just cut him at this point. They had a chance to cut him before the season, and they didn't. They kept this man around. They said, yes, we want 3 more years of this. No, 2 more years. I'm sorry, 2 more years. I think that was his extension. His extension was for 2 more years on a DP contract that could be best served to someone else. Someone else. Midfield is a problem for this team because of this man. Yeah, Dre got outside, so that was cool. Gaston took a shot that was easily blocked right before this. Oh yeah, here's a big chance for Orlando. This goes into the other story of the game, which is Orlando's finishing was terrible. Look at this. They passed up on 2 shots. This guy takes a shot. Saved by a Gaga. This pops up. The Fire, there's not much that they could do about that. They're in position, I guess. You know, you got a guy who's coming up to challenge, but he is right there, and he heads it away. Like, how do you miss that? How do you miss that? Man. There's an 82nd minute play coming up soon, hopefully. But how do you miss that? Why is he nodding it to the right? He needs to get on that. Like, I don't care if it's the team that I don't want to win. He needs to get on. He needs to get all of that ball. And this is when, you know, Orlando really starts trying to press hard. And once again, a header goes wide. They keep getting more and more chances, and almost all of them are just failing. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. We're going to get to a moment soon with Pato. Let's see what this one is. I didn't even write this one down, because it's just this entire game. Once again, just a header that fails. Another header that fails. And okay, here's finally a yellow card. And Jansen, this guy is such a piece of shit. Like, look at the way he reacts to this. Okay, it's not going to show his entire reaction, but he's like yelling at that official the entire time through. The entire time through, he's yelling at the official. They've gotten a bunch of calls, and as I said, you don't blame the officiating, but you know what? if you are on the good side of it, you don't say anything. If they call you on something and you've been on the good side of the entire game, don't push your luck. Just like, okay, fine, whatever. This guy just starts yelling at the official, like, "Oh, you didn't call it over there, but you're calling it over here." Yeah, because they haven't called you on a single foul all night, all afternoon. So here's this. 04's gonna try something here. I just like watching 04. Look at him go. Look at him go. I just like watching 04. Wowie, look at that man go. It's nowhere close, but, like, you know, he's going to try something like that. He is honestly, it's not just that, like, he can handle being an aerial presence, I think. I haven't seen him do much. It's not just that, like, he could do better as an aerial presence, but, like, he's comfortable with the ball in the air, just in general. He's just going to try something. He's just going to try shit. And I like that. I like that a lot. It's fun. I have people who disagree with me, including Adnan, but I just like what I like what 04 does. I think it's fun. It makes the game interesting, which we didn't have an interesting game against Dallas, so whatever. Now we get another foul, a yellow card to Orlando this time. And they just started hacking at players, like, near the end. They realized, wait, we can do this? And they just start hacking. Oh, yes, here's another massive chance here for Orlando. They get past Espinoza, which, once again, Espinoza, not a left back. Okay. This is Alexandre Pato. Now, if you remember back in the good old days of Milan, just before everything turned bad, Alexandre Pato and Ricky Kaká were two up-and-coming players in the soccer world on AC Milan. Pato can finish this. He's playing against a 17, 18-year-old. I think 18-year-old. I forgot Gaga's age, but he's going to score, right? He's going to score. He's collected the ball. He's got a lot of space here. He's got a lot of room to work with here. And Osberg sure as hell isn't going to catch up to him. He hits the crossbar. And honestly, you look at the replay, and if he hits it any lower, it goes off of Gaga's shoulder. If he hits that any lower, if that goes any lower to the point where it's not off the crossbar, Gaga gets it with his shoulder. That would be a big boy save for Gaga, but it wasn't. And instead, it just hits the crossbar and goes out. Man. Ah, man. There's another failed header. Look at it. Look upon your shame, Orlando. An empty net, a wide open net. Gaga has fully committed to the wrong thing. And this guy, and Tesho Akindele, it just flops off of his face. I don't know, man. Like, this is... The Fire lost that game. Orlando did not win it. The Fire lost. It was not a good game from Orlando. And I would not be proud of it if I were Orlando. So, looking at this entire thing, we first noticed that Jansen is an asshole. He's talking shit. He's making bad tackles, like, especially late in the game. I hate this man. If you remember, I mentioned this. He did not play against the Fire in their first game against each other, because he got sent off against Montreal for antagonizing Mason Toye. It wasn't Toye. It was, I think it was Kyoto. He antagonized Kyoto, got a yellow card from that, and then full on just like absolutely wrecked somebody and got a second yellow from that. And I think that was justice, that he was suspended the next game coming against Fire. The only thing that annoys me about this game, truly, other than just Gaston simply existing, is that there's annoying Orlando fans that were talking the entire, like, for the past, like, 3-4 weeks saying like, oh, the Fire aren't undefeated. We beat the Fire. Well, they have now beaten the Fire 1-0, but they still did not win that last game. That was a scoreless draw, and this should have been a scoreless draw, if not for Gaston. And so people are going to talk about, poor decisions in officiating. And I think we should really be talking about the poor decisions made by Goody. He's a rookie. So obviously, he's going to learn from this. He's going to learn from this. He's got to learn from this. And yeah, it's on him. His red card is on him. I think that first yellow card, as I said, I find it personally a bit questionable, but it is in the rules, and it's also, it's a bit of a stupid kind of dick move to try to do that and stick your foot out in front of a free kick. It's kind of a dick move. You're going to get called on that. If not a warning, it's a yellow card. And so he got a yellow card. I mean, as I said, I'm going around in circles here. Personally, I wouldn't give that a yellow card, but hey, I wouldn't argue too much about that. And that second yellow could have been a straight red if they really wanted to do it, because he did not go for the ball. He just tried to koala bear the man. And it didn't work, obviously. And obviously gets his second yellow. I am not going to put this game on Goody. And I don't think anybody should. And I wouldn't put this game on the officiating. And I don't think anybody should. The moment that this game changed from what it was meant to be was when Gaston did not mark his man. He just stood there. Again, every single fucking time he stands there. Whenever there's like some big moment or big play in the game, you always have to look out for where Gaston is. If there is a moment in the game where the opposing team does something to the Fire, you just have to look around to where Gaston is, and you'll find, a bad giveaway. He just stands there. All of these things. It's so much of it is on him, and he's supposed to be a defensive player. The midfield looked non-existent. I personally don't see much out of Fede anymore, but I mean, I keep hearing like, no, he's still good. And this is coming from Adnan, who I at least trust isn't gonna bullshit me on like, no, this player is good, definitely. The Fire is gonna bullshit you on Gaston because they're still trying to like raise his value so they can sell him, because Boca Juniors wanted to sign this man as a free transfer. They wanted to buy him last year mid-season. And then the Fire didn't sell him. Gaston got angry. He got a bit pissy about it. And then off-season, Boca Juniors is right back again. They want to get Gaston again. And so the Fire are like, hey, we want to get some money out of this transfer. Obviously, you don't want to be here. We don't really need you here. We want to get some money out of this transfer. We're going to give you a new contract. And so that way that they can give us money, and then you will go to Boca Juniors. And Boca Juniors then said, we wanted him on a free transfer. We don't want to pay a fee. And they're stuck with each other now. I hope that's the case. I hope that the case is not Ezra walks into training and then looks at Gaston and says, I'm gonna build my team around this man. Because that is not a man you build your team around. A man who walks to everything. A man who stands around every single time you need him. He may have great metrics. Just like small things. There's only one moment this entire season where he has come up in a situation. One moment, he's been involved in about 6 big moments. And in one moment, he does the right thing. In 5 other moments, he fucking stands there. I do not want to hear anything about how Gaston might be one of the better players on this team. I don't want to hear it again from the Fire saying that Gaston is man of the match. I was waiting for Gaston to be named man of the match after what he did. He has been named man of the match so many times. It's stupid. So, I mean, it's... Oh yeah, his possession, 3.9 possession, had 48 tackles. His pass completion was like 36 completed passes, 34 accurate passes. He does so much of this when no one else is around. He does so much of that when there's no one near him to stop him. There's nothing important happening. When you have like all that boring possession in the back, And that's Gaston. Gaston is the boring possession part, and not even like a good type of boring possession. Like, I will say, something that I was talking about at the beginning of the game before, things went downhill was that, I learned from a friend I met through like simulation football a while ago. He was a high school football coach, and their strategy on offense was to just run the ball. They called it the death march, where it's in classical football terms, it's called 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But he called it the death march because you're playing against high school kids. These are high schoolers who want to have something to do. And instead, these high school defenders are having to deal with just a pile up at the line every single play. And it wears them down both physically and mentally and allows your offense to hit them harder and harder. That's what the Fire have been doing. And you know what? I kind of like that. I kind of like the idea of just being so boring that it hurts the other team. And even then, Gaston is not a part of that. Because when you have that sort of like boring and just like very methodical being a boring team, a lot of that is sitting around waiting for an opening to open up. Gaston does not pass for an opening. Gaston just sort of passes at the moment that it gets to him because he doesn't want the ball. He doesn't want to touch the ball. He doesn't want to be near the ball. That's why he stops and waits. That's why there's so many times, once again, he stands around, he walks, and then when he does move and he does go towards the right direction, he stops like 5 seconds early and then just stands there and watches again. I don't know why. Like, yeah, you're paying him, so I guess you got to play him. He's your DP. You got to play him. But I say cut the fucking guy. Like, it's not worth it to keep him around. It's not worth it. I don't understand why you need to keep this man. There's no point. You gain nothing from keeping him out on the pitch. You gain nothing, and you lose so much. He takes up a slot. He takes up the slot in so many different ways. He takes up a slot in the starting 11. He takes up a slot in the international slots. He takes up a slot as a DP slot. We should have a better player in that spot. We should have a guy who can move up and down. We should have Luka Stojanovic or something. If you told me we were going to be forced to keep one of these players as a DP last season, if you told me between Alvaro Medran or Gaston Giménez, during the offseason, I said, you know what? I'm fine with both of them leave. It helps a better fresh start. But if you told me we are going to keep one of these guys and they're going to start every single game, you have to choose which of these two you want. I would have said Medran. I would have absolutely said Medran as a DP. I didn't like the fact that he would be a DP, but if you told me if it was Gaston or Medran, I'd take Medran every single time. Because I watched the way Gaston played the entire season, and it was not good. He was an active detriment. If you remember Goody's first game ever, this is Goody's first start. If you remember Goody's first appearance, that was in a game where Gaston Giménez gave up a ball, and that's how the Fire lost. Gaston was an active detriment to the team. I don't know if I had ever seen a player be an active detriment to their team. I've seen players make a lot of mistakes and just be bad, but he was actively giving the ball away. He was actively stopping. He was actively just giving the game to the other team. It's like sabotage or something. Like it's so bad. It almost looks intentional. I don't know what's this guy's doing. You remember the stories from like last season about like he did not play in a certain game because he broke team rules. He was late to the plane. He didn't show up to the plane to get to the game. I don't know what you want out of this guy. He's not good. He's not a captain. He is not a leader. Shios is a leader. Shaqiri, I don't know, but he can be a leader. He is a solid leader and an example. Let's say that. Gaston's not. Gaston is nothing. Gaston is just nothing. And he's an active detriment to the team. He's an active detriment to the team, not just on the pitch, but as like, just like a money thief or whatever. Like you're paying this guy so much money to do this. I don't know what you want out of this guy, but you're not going to get it here. You're not going to get it. And it's not happening. I don't know. Let's look at the heat maps. Ooh, heat maps. Well, I've had some issues with internet recently, so that's not helpful. Let's look at something else. I just wanted to point out that Orlando had 3.5 XG against the Fire, and the Fire had 0.4 XG. As I said, this is Orlando's finishing that was trash. This is Orlando's finishing that was trash. This is not on the... This is, like, Orlando did not win this game. They didn't win this game. The Fire lost. Because the Fire let this happen. The Fire kept Gaston around, and that's how they lost. The Fire lost this game in the offseason. It's... possession, whatever. Passing network. Yeah, Gaston is there. Woo, whatever. Let's just see. Once again, let's just move this over here. Let's just look at what's some Gaston's stats you got for me. Gaston provided 0.05 XG. That was probably his really bad blocked shot. That was pointless. He had options to pass off to, by the way, at that point. It didn't show it, but yeah. 0.01 XA. That's expected assists. But a 94% pass completion. Ooh, boy, man, he's doing great. He probably has a bunch of, defensive stuff. Let's just look over here. Oh, boy. Let's just find what amazing things Gaston has done in this game. Let's see. Interceptions. He had 1 interception. 2 tackles won. A tackle lost. No clearances. 5 recoveries. And 1 defensive block. This is what he did. It's stupid. I hate this. I know that the Fire will not cut Gaston just because I say so. But dear God, please. This team. There's been a ton of good things that have happened with this team, and I want this team to be a normal team. I want us to finally be normal. Why can't we just be normal? We can't, and. Just get rid of Gaston. That's what we need to do. Yeah. I don't know what else, guys. I'm Fire lost. Then they're going to be playing against Chicharito and the LA Galaxy next week, and I think that's the Shaqiri basketball jersey game. And I'm not going to be able to get a jersey because there's going to be so many Galaxy fans there, so many Chicharito fans there. I'm going to be very annoyed by my lack of Shaqiri jersey. I could try to make my own for this model, but I don't want to deal with it. I was supposed to have shorter hair by now, and I didn't do it because I didn't want to deal with it. I put it on my list for last week for things that I needed to do last week, and I didn't do it. Whatever. I'm just talking now. Bye.